Look ahead to the weekend. Let's look back on a busy week. Jeff Darlington, give me the three most important things that happened in the NFL this week. I fear we may have lost Jeff. One of them was Alex Smith announcing his retirement, the comeback player of the year last year, with a remarkable season as he returned and played in Washington and played a hard role in getting that team back into the playoffs this season. Alex Smith announcing his retirement. Next up would be Trey Lance's pro day, which was on Monday, the second pro day that he held. Scouts were there, including those from the San Francisco 49ers. In fact, their head coach and their general manager were both there with the contemplation that maybe they would take him number 3 overall in the draft. And then the other thing that happened this week that we would highlight here, Tom Brady seems very upset about uniform numbers. There's a rule change the NFL has approved in which they will relax the rules on what uniform numbers people at different positions can wear. And Tom Brady quite upset with this, tweeting, among other things, why have numbers? Just have colored jerseys. Why not wear the same number? This is dumb. He suggests this is going to make for a lot of bad football. So Tom Brady seems quite upset about that. Those are just 3 of the things that happened in the NFL over the course of this week. Next up, as we work our way towards this draft, everyone waiting to see the wheeling and the dealing. Well, Mike Tannenbaum, our former general manager, of course, in 2 different places, you know about how these things work. And I know you did not sleep a minute last night putting this together. You have come up with a trade that you think will make sense, will benefit both sides, and will shake up the draft. Let's hear it.
Greeny, I really like this trade. Carolina at number 8 has Sam Darnold. They also owe the New York Jets a 2nd and 4th round pick next year. Bill Belichick, despite never taking a quarterback in the first round, needs a starter to replace Cam Newton long term. If one of those quarterbacks, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, or Justin Fields is there at 8, New England should go up to the 8th pick, give up 15 and next year's 1. Carolina now has the 15th pick, Sam Darnold, and 2 1s next year, and not a 2 and a 4. New England pays half the price that San Francisco did, has Cam Newton short term, and now a quarterback long term. And going back a number of years ago, the night before the 2007 draft, I reached an agreement in principle with Carolina to trade up for Darrelle Revis. And the reason we did that was we knew we wanted to come up for one player. Marty Herney, the general manager, then wanted to trade back. And we reached an agreement in principle basically where he was not going to ask for more on the clock. We were not going to try to do it for less. And we were trying to box out the competition. And I'm sure that that's what Coach Belichick's doing right now. He's talking to Denver, Carolina, and Detroit to try to put a framework of a deal together.
So let me make sure, because I understand what you're saying, and I do think it makes sense. But to be specific, are you referring to one specific? Is there a particular quarterback that you think has to be there for him to want to do this, or do you think it's for any quarterback that falls there?
Well, I think it's likely that either Trey Lance or Justin Fields could be there. I do think Mac Jones will go 3, and I think either of those 2 quarterbacks has tremendous potential and a high ceiling. And if they could sit for a year and be coached by Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick, I think that's a great situation for both that player and the Patriots organization. And to do it for only 1-1 in 2022 is really smart business.
Okay, so maybe a trade that helps both teams. Bart Scott, you look skeptical. What do you think?
No, in the words of old school, that was perfect. I have nothing to add to that. I mean, that's absolutely what I believe the Patriots should do, especially if San Francisco messes the entire draft up by taking Mac Jones. I mean, I think that would be I'm looking at it with disgust because, once again, the Patriots finished on top. They had a tremendous offseason. If you add a guy like Trey Lance or add a guy like Justin Fields, imagine what that can do. Finally, Josh McDaniels has a mobile quarterback in his prime right now that can control the backside defensive end and a backside linebacker that creates tremendous pockets to throw the ball to. You know, when you have a mobile quarterback that you have to respect his ability to boot, also to be able to hold the backside defensive end, it creates tremendous running lanes, and I believe that's the way that Bill Belichick wants to win. And also it gives them a cheap quarterback where they can go out and luxury spend again, and the whole league will be in trouble again. So please, thanks a lot, San Francisco. I love you, but I got to do you.
Okay, so Bart Scott likes it. Damien Woody, what do you think?
No, I absolutely agree with Mike Tannenbaum. I think when you're the Patriots, you spent like a drunken sailor for this free agency. You addressed a plethora of positions, both on offense and defense, but the one position they didn't address was the quarterback position. And all you have to do is look within your own division to see what's going on and the sense of urgency that the Patriots have this year. You have the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, who's right on the precipice of being an MVP. You got Tua down there in Miami. The Jets are going to draft more than likely Zach Wilson at the number 2 pick. So if you're the Patriots, you got Cam Newton on a 1-year deal, and you don't have a viable quarterback for the future. So this is a prime opportunity for the Patriots to address that, and that quarterback not be in a position where they have to be pressed into a starting role because you have Cam Newton on the roster.
So everyone seems to like it, Jeff. Let's talk about the likelihood that he does it. This is something Bill Belichick has never done in his entire career as a coach or the leader of an organization in the NFL. Now, the obvious caveat is that for the overwhelming majority of that time, he had Tom Brady as his quarterback, so he didn't have to do it. So how would you assess the likelihood that Belichick shakes up this draft by trading up for a quarterback?
So this is complicated, to your exact points. When I have conversations with people around the NFL, they don't know what to expect from Belichick in this situation. They feel like they've got some sort of sense that he doesn't often trade up in the draft without a very clear target. Normally, it's all about acquiring picks. This is not a traditional year when it comes to Belichick. So, to your point, there still is a skeptical sense around the league that he will be overly aggressive to move into that spot. But one thing we should point out is that Belichick has been hitting up these quarterback pro days like never before. He was even at Trevor Lawrence's pro day, knowing he wasn't going to draft him because he wants to understand the landscape of this quarterback class better than anyone. So he is very clearly targeting a quarterback in this draft. It's a matter of who, and it's a matter of where.
Yeah, it'd be fascinating to see. He has a couple of options. He could move up and try and go the way that Mike Tannenbaum is suggesting. There are also quarterbacks who are going to go after round 1 in this draft that he may become enamored of. So we will wait and see there. Guys, sit tight. Much more football as we go. But let me get to the return of the night. Hollywood style. It was Anthony Davis back on the floor for the Lakers for the first time since February 14th with a minutes restriction, and there was no question he was a little rusty. Early, you see the miss there. Later in the first quarter, here's his first bucket in his return, and you see he just knows he doesn't quite have it, but he'll work his way back into shape. He would wind up playing just about 17 minutes last night. There's a kick out to Ben McLemore. Davis would score 4 points on 2 of 10 shooting. Later in the second, it's Kristaps Porzingis. Look at him taking it into the hole and throwing it down. He would score 19. Mavs had a 10-point lead. Then fourth quarter, Dallas is up by 7, 4 minutes to go. Here comes Luka. Why give it up when you can just do this? 30 points, 9 boards, 8 assists for Luka. Mavericks win, spoiling the return of AD. 115-110 is your final. And the Lakers, well, they were second in the West when AD first got hurt. In the 30 games without him, LA has fallen to the 5 seed, and they are currently just 2.5 games away from playing in the play-in tournament. So let's see where they go from here. Coming up, drafting Zach Wilson, number 2, seems like a done deal. Is he built for